What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Got Chase here, I got Malik back there, and today we'll be working on Chase's Supra, right there. And so he's gonna be installing a Flex Fuel Kit on his Supra, and I'll let him go over about what comes with the case.
All right, so when you order the kit, this is all it comes with. We got the Flex Fuel harness right here. This is gonna be plugging into all the factory connections in the ECU. We have a depinning tool because we're gonna have to get into the ECU to reroute some of these pins. And speaking of, here's the pins right here, along with the ethanol flex fuel sensor. And then we have a replacement fuel line with some zip ties for this harness. And then finally we have the Z-Tronics CAN bus sensor. So this is gonna allow us to convert the raw ethanol signal from this sensor into CAN bus so our ECU can read it.
So I wanted to bring Chase onto the channel just because obviously he has a Supra, has the same engine as my car, the B58. And also there's not a lot of videos on this particular one on YouTube. I think there's only one that I found. So I just wanted to get this video to you guys. Hopefully it's informational, hopefully you guys gain something from it. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump right into the install. So obviously to start, you're gonna wanna take off the engine cover. It's right here. Just held in by some grommets, really easy. All you do is pull straight up on it and it'll come off. So next we're gonna take this heat shield off back here. Same thing, held in by some grommets. Just kind of pull up on it and it should come off. There we go.
It's coming, there she goes. All right.
Cool. We're gonna start working on the fuel line, but before you do that, you wanna make sure that you're disconnecting the battery. So that's what he's gonna go do right now.
All right, so to disconnect the battery, just slipped up this trunk liner in here. You'll have to lift it up through these subs right here. It's too big to actually lift up. Yep. So just slide that out of the way. And then you have this protective cover. Just go ahead and hooked on by this little thing right here. Lift this back and we'll just go ahead and disconnect the positive terminal.
We did have to switch to a deep weld socket because the other one didn't fit. But
I think you can just pull up straight on this right here. And there we go. All right, so the first step, we're gonna go ahead and connect this ethanol sensor to the harness itself. And Visconti recommends putting Loctite. It actually comes with the kit on these bolts. So we'll go ahead and do the inside one. Just unscrew this to where it's separated. We'll put a dab of Loctite on there. This back on, and it does note in the instructions that even though once it's tight, this will still spin. You can't really see it, but this ethanol sensor is spinning. But I think that'll be tight enough, especially with that Loctite on there. So next we'll go ahead and actually connect it to the sensor, which uses this purple connection. Simply just slide in. Alright, and once this purple little clip presses all the way down, it'll know it's locked in place. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, or the first thing for this kit wise, is going to be removing this fuel line, and we're going to replace it with replacement fuel line in the ethanol sensor. So I've already replaced one on here, or taken it off rather, but there's little clips. You can see this little tan one right here, and it literally just, get back here. You can see it's not even attached to anything. It's just a clip, so we'll just reach back here and simply just pull it off.
so as you guys can see, he laid it out in this orientation just to make it easier with the install. So this sensor, put it back here. This portion right here is a little gray with this one. With this is gonna be the ground. You can put that right there. And coming over to the left side, this is going to be on the inside of the car, so you can just put it over here for later.
All right, so we went ahead and took this one off just to make sure that we could do it. So this little plastic thing, you can see how it moves in and out. It actually sits over this ring. So what you're gonna do is just, I used a 11mm spanner to just press this in, and then also you're gonna pull in on this side as well to push it together, and then it should just pop right out like that.
Yeah, make sure you have a rag or something because it's pressurized. And
yeah, so there will be fuel coming out of here. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate on that one, but just wrap this around in a tool, or in a towel rather, with the tool, and then just close your mouth and have eye protection. Let's wrap this rag around here. So watch out for the spray. It'll be hard to see, but at least we've explained what's going on. So there's that black tab right in there. So I'm just gonna use this as leverage. You probably can't see, I'm gonna have to close this off and then grab the other part of this line, and I'm just pushing in, just like that. Let's come out. Remove this, and here's our OEM fuel line. Now with that OEM fuel line out of the way, so we have these open connections, one right here and one right here, where we just remove that line. So in place of that is going to be our replacement fuel line and the ethanol sensor itself. So this is going to connect on this side, and then our fuel line will connect to here and also to this end right here. So to start off, we're going to unscrew this, and be careful, there's an O-ring in there. It will pop out, it's pretty loose. So what we're going to do, we'll put this on second. We're just going to fit this over this fuel line right here. It is a tight squeeze, so just over that little nipple there. We'll go ahead and throw this O-ring on. Just back it up right along this, so this will be ready to go. And then on these threads, we're going to use another dab of Loctite, and all you need is that dab will do ya. So just put that on, and then it's going to be pretty tight squeeze, but I'm going to fit this back in here. Try to move everything out of the way. And that goes on right up on that nipple, and then we will bring this in. Just make sure that's nice and tight, and it may go back, but right now that should be good. Over on this side, we've got this in the way. We have this little red cap on the sensor. It just comes right off. And then this is what our one part of our line, you just squeeze these little tabs to open it up. And that's gonna fit in on the sensor itself. Try to right here. All right. So that's on there like that. And then this side, move the plug. And then this goes on to your OEM fuel line, so like this. Just like so. So we had to go back over here real quick. So to take off this on the left side, this O-ring is supposed to be behind this little nipple that connects to it. So just like this, so this won't slide off. So that's all we changed, and we're about to just put that right back on there. All right, so now that we've got the actual sensor plugged in, next we're gonna plug in the power stuff. So this is actually gonna go off the crankcase heater core, which is plugged into the inlet of the turbo. So we're gonna unplug the factory one, plug this one in, and then this will be a placeholder for the factory one. To remove the airbox, all we gotta do is pop up this tab to remove the MAF, and then unscrew this hose right here. And then this all should come right out.
Yep. As you can see on that, it's just held in by a grommet.
Yeah, so this one actually came with it. So on here, we'll go ahead and put this back. So this one came out right here. Like you said, they're just grommets, so they'll just go in on these little holes. So that's our airbox. All right, so next we're gonna plug in this down by the turbo inlet pipe. So plug the way one, I have my phone set up so you can kind of see it's right underneath here. And so there's a little clip just like right here. So it's gonna be pressed in, and you're just gonna pull this up and then press it in like this to pull it out. So we used a pick tool to get the tab out, and then we're just gonna press it in and pull it out. And this one is gonna plug into this one, just like that. And then our new connection is gonna plug in right to where we plugged out. So we'll feed it down in here, get it on the right direction, and let it snap in place, and we're good to go. So now that we've got this plugged up, the power, we're gonna plug in the ground, which is this little thing right here, and we have a ground bolt built into our fuel rail. So, and this is a 10 millimeter. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this nut and place this top just like that, and screw this back in. Got hand tight, and she's good to go. So next we're gonna take off this part right here, and the same on the other side. We already took off the little cover that was right here. It's sitting, it's just this little swivel to unlock. So that just pulls right up. And next we're gonna, I came underneath these with a pick tool. We're gonna grab off this little nipple, pop it up like that. And we'll use the flathead to actually pull it all the way out. And this will allow us to, there goes that. So then these are like stuck in just with this little plastic rivet. So we'll move it out of the way, and this will allow us to route the flex fuel line all the way across to the firewall. And we'll go do the same thing on the other side. And we'll start with this. So this just has the unlock. We're gonna turn it straight to the unlock from lock. And then this will just lift out, just like so. Now there's this plug here, so we're just gonna set this aside. And then from here, just dig in with the flathead, pop it up a little bit, grab on the pliers, and then just work this out of here, just like so. And then we'll grab this back one as well. This can about like so. All right, so now that we remove this, we're gonna feed this line all the way around so we can hit the firewall. So I'm just tucking it behind, you can see right here, this little pathway, just kind of tucking it in there and around the hood strap right in here. So that's just gonna go all the way on the other side. So this is where we're gonna feed in these two wires and then get them into this cavity so we can feed them to the firewall. We're gonna go ahead and feed these wires straight through to get into this little crevice. So stick it in. All right, feed this through. And then we also have this second plug. Go ahead and feed this one through. Grab it here on the other side, just like so. Feed this whole thing. All right, so next, since we have this routed, we're gonna pass this through the firewall so we can connect it to the DME. So to do that, we've lifted this up, and there's this little cover right here that just comes right off. It's gonna show a grommet right here, and this just pulls out like so. And then next we're gonna actually use the knife to cut through this grommet. So it's got a little hole in there, as you can see the flashlight. We've got a friend on the other side that's gonna help pull these wires through as we feed them. So these are good to go. All right, and then we're gonna feed our second plug through. Same hole. We're gonna feed that through, and that should be good right there. So again, we'll move ahead on the inside and begin with the pinning. All right, so the first thing we're gonna pop off is this plastic. It's just a few clips right here. So I've already got it started, but just feed the trim tool in there. This comes with the kit. And get it off a little bit. You should be able to just pull this out. Back in these little holes, this one actually came with us. All right, so next we're gonna do this little module right here. So again, these are like the same kind of clips. We're just gonna feed our trim tool in, pop this out. Just like so. So to take this one off, there's two little plastic screws. So we're just gonna turn it to unlock. And there's another one right over here. Right. Next we're gonna grab this one. so. And this should just kind of fall down like so. But what we were doing in there is these little plastic things are turned like this. So we're just gonna turn them 90 degrees in both ways, and then it just falls right out. So we're gonna remove this first connector, the green with the white. So I'm just gonna use the screwdriver to get the lever off right here. And then you just pull this down and that brings the plug straight out. Next, we're gonna push in these two little things to actually remove the connector.
There it goes.
Slide that out.
So he just used the pick tool for that.
So yeah, it's just in these two little holes right here. There's just these two little pins. You just push them in. And then we're gonna slide this apart. Just like so. And then we're after this black connector here with the yellow and black wire and the yellow and white wire. So these two at the end, we're gonna depin those real quick. All right, so we got the pick tool that this comes with, and we're just gonna press in on these little tabs right here, which will release these wires. So we'll press in on this one. You can see this kind of a tight squeeze, but this one's came out. So the yellow and black one is on the second tab, and the yellow and white one is on the first. So again, press that in, and this comes out just like that. What replaces those from our Visconti wire, they're color coded the exact same, yellow and white, yellow and black. So we're gonna plug in our yellow and white one here in the first, and it'll click in place. Again, our yellow and black will face the tab towards this front side. Feed it in the hole and click into place just like that. All right, so we have our Visconti connector right here. So this is where our factory wires are gonna plug into. So our yellow and black goes in hole number 1 right here. So the bottom, we're just gonna feed this in here. And here it click in. And then our yellow and white goes in number 2 is labeled right here. So we'll stick that. Feed it all the way down until that clicks in place. And then next we're gonna just plug in the other side of this, just plug into our control module into this until we get a nice click. So now that we've got this plugged in here, we have one more connection. This is actually gonna plug into our second wire. It came in here. This little groove goes in this one, just like so. Finally, we have this other connection that came through, and that's going to plug into our CAN bus ethanol analyzer and plug into this one. Although there are 3 different ports for this, we're only going to use the signal. If you bought the optional gauge, then that would just plug into here, and then you'd route it through the glove box, for example. This sensor one is unused, so if you actually have the Fuel Kit, like I'm sure you know Thick F30, he has the Flex Fuel Kit, but it's just a Fuel It, so it doesn't actually provide flex fuel tuning. So he has to plug in, he'd have to buy this and then plug into the sensor to actually get flex fuel. Okay, so now it's time to put this stuff back together. We have this line right here and this groove inside. So we're just gonna slide in from the bottom of the black, line these up, slide them in just like that. And then this can go back inside of our control module. So we will feed this through just like so, and then this will plug back in. Then once you get it in, we're going to pull up this tab, which is going to lock it in just like so. Hide this back in here, and along with this we'll just route it up and around right back in here. Keep it out of the way, and then we can go ahead and put all our trim back together.
All right guys, so after he was done connecting that, pretty much just put back everything the way you found it in the engine bay, connect everything, make sure you don't forget anything. Also, we kind of messed up, but don't close the trunk with your battery undone because you will have to crawl through. I had to crawl through and connect the battery back to unlock the trunk. Like I said, make sure you put everything back together. We're just gonna test it right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this install. Hope it was helpful. If you guys have any questions, you guys already know, you guys can reach out to me at Matwire on Instagram, and I'll answer any questions that you might have. I'll also leave Chase's Instagram, and he'll answer any questions that you guys might have as well. But just like that, that wraps up today's video. If you like this video or helped you out in any way, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us out tremendously. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And just like that, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.